If you thought Mohammed Hijab was having a bad year, you need to check on Ali Dawah. Hijab's been exposed for lying about his secret hotel wives, blackmailing a sheikh, using a photoshopped screenshot and an AI-generated fake confession to discredit one of his victims, and so on. But guess what? All of that is totally forgivable in the Dawah community. As long as you're attacking Christians, attacking Jews, attacking the Bible, you can do anything you want. No one will ever hold you accountable. Ali Dawah, by contrast, is in a lot more trouble right now. Because if you thoroughly embarrass the Ummah on their favorite topics, the Trinity and the deity of Christ, and if you're so arrogant that you destroy your own case with your own visual aid, your fans just aren't going to be as forgiving. I know people like to post so-and-so's career ended by such and such, and it's usually not true. But this is a rare instance where someone simply isn't going to recover from the embarrassment. So, what just happened to Ali Dawah? Well, to his credit, he agreed to have a street debate with GodLogic in London. But he tried to avoid actually debating by begging for prayer mat donations.
This is a guided prayer mat. But let me tell you about our charity. So we're a charity. We have guided prayer mat. So now, brothers and sisters, the reason I'm doing this is because we're doing a bit of fundraising. Can you do a shout out to the Americans to donate? Someone just donated £500, 15 euros, $20. I want people to donate. Okay, guys, we're £162 away. £100. Don't forget to donate.
If they're not praying like Jesus, then don't donate.
Eventually, they debated whether Jesus is God. Now, one of the most common objections we get from our Muslim friends is, if Jesus is God, how could he die? If Jesus is God, how could he be born? If Jesus is God, how could he eat food? Notice, these sound like different objections, but they're really all the same objection. God isn't the kind of being who is born, or who needs food, or who dies. So how can Jesus be God if he has properties or characteristics that God doesn't have? This is an objection to the incarnation, God taking on human nature and entering creation as Jesus of Nazareth. Ali Dawah raises the same objection, but he tries to make it sound more philosophical by using philosophical terms that he doesn't understand. He begins by saying that there are 3 types of existence.
The first thing I'm going to say is this. There are 3 types of existence.
3 types of existence?
There's 3 types of existence. There is impossible existence.
Impossible existence?
Yes.
Impossible existence? Is impossible existence a type of existence? Watch GodLogic instantly spot a problem with Ali Dawah's favorite argument.
Define, like...
I'm going to give you the definition.
Yeah, give me an example of an impossible existence.
Okay, so there are 3 types of existence. Okay. Impossible existence is like having a triangle square.
So does it exist?
No.
So it doesn't exist.
It's an impossible existence.
So it doesn't exist.
No, it won't exist. You can't have a triangle square.
So then there's only 2 types of existences right now?
No, we're going to come to that. We're doing it bit by bit.
Oh yeah, we just eliminated one of them.
Yeah.
So, impossible existence is something like a triangle square. A triangle square can't exist because it would be a contradiction. But that's not a type of existence. It's a type of non-existence. Saying there are 3 types of existence and one of them is impossible existence is like saying there are 3 types of Muslims: good Muslims, bad Muslims, and non-Muslims. Non-Muslims would not be a type of Muslims, just like impossible existence would not be a type of existence. Ali Dawah goes on to argue that the Christian view of Jesus as fully God and fully man is like a triangle square. It's a contradiction. Why? Because Jesus' divine nature is independent, doesn't depend on anything else for its existence, while his human nature is dependent. It depends on something else for its existence. According to Ali Dawah, something can't be both dependent and independent because that would be a contradiction. But GodLogic shows why it's definitely not a contradiction.
Because Jesus has a divine nature, he has a nature that is independent. Okay?
You can't be dependent and independent at the same time.
Yeah, well, I agree that you can't be dependent and independent at the same time in the same sense.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Jesus is independent in regards to his divine nature, dependent in regards to his human nature.
The law of contradiction is that a statement can't be both true and false at the same time in the same sense. The statement, David Wood is in Great Britain, can be true at one time and false at a different time. That's not a contradiction. If I say the sun rises in the east, that's true in one sense, it's true from our perspective, but in a different sense, it's false, because the sun isn't actually rising, the earth is rotating. So the statement, the sun rises in the east, is true in one sense, but false in another sense, not a contradiction. Likewise, if I say the sun sets in a muddy pool, that's true in one sense, it's true according to the Quran, Surah 1886, but in a different sense, it's false, because here on planet reality, the sun doesn't set in a muddy pool. So the statement, the sun sets in a muddy pool, is true according to the Quran, but false according to reality. Not a contradiction. Since Ali Dawah doesn't understand what a contradiction is, he keeps insisting that Jesus, in Christian theology, is like a triangle square. So, GodLogic points out something else.
A triangle square cannot be the same thing, right? Now let me ask you this. Can a triangle and a square be put next to each other?
Yeah.
Okay, is that a contradiction?
No.
Okay, so I'm not saying that the divine nature and the human nature are intertwined and mixed and are the same exact thing. I'm saying that they're next to each other. They're united in the person of Jesus.
So, Christians aren't saying that Jesus' human nature is both dependent and independent. We're not saying that Jesus' divine nature is both dependent and independent. We're saying that Jesus' human nature is dependent and that his divine nature is independent and that the two natures are united. You can say you don't believe that, but like it or not, it's not a contradiction.
So I'm not saying that Jesus is independent and dependent in the same exact way, in the same sense. That would be a contradiction. I'm saying that he has a nature that is independent and a nature that is dependent. Two different natures united in the person. That's called the hypostatic union. This is Christian theology.
GodLogic shows, in multiple ways even a child could understand, that there's no contradiction. But he's not talking to a child, he's talking to Ali Dawah, who, again, doesn't even understand what a contradiction is. And Ali Dawah just keeps claiming that there's a contradiction.
The body, the flesh is dependent, but the godly nature is independent. My friend, we call that an oxymoron. We call that a contradiction. We call that black and white, because they are two total opposites.
That was part one of their debate, and it seemed like it was over. But Ali Dawah found out that when GodLogic showed up on his channel, his views shot up, and more viewers meant more prayer mat donations. So, he showed up to Speaker's Corner for round 2, and he brought a gift that GodLogic would soon use to end Ali Dawah's career.
Now guys, it's the first time I am buying Ahlul Kitab, my Christian friend a present. I even wrapped it up myself in Peppa Pig.
What did Ali Dawah bring for GodLogic? And how did it end Ali Dawah's career? We'll find out after a brief word about this video's sponsor. Suppose Ali Dawah brings you the perfect gift, and suppose this perfect gift literally cost him his entire career. You'd be a heartless monster if you didn't get him something amazing in return, but what can you possibly get for the man who's lost everything? Get that man an Artza box. Artza is a company in Israel that comes up with a new theme every few months. They gather products around that theme from small Jewish and Christian businesses and charities in places like Jerusalem and Nazareth and Bethlehem, and then they ship everything in a box. If you sign someone up with Artza, he'll get spices, snacks, crafts, decorations, soaps, jewelry, dishes, all kinds of things, straight from the land of the Bible and produced by local artisans who share their products with the world through Artza. It'll help Ali Dawah forget about his embarrassment and help him learn more about the book he can't stop attacking.
And we're proud of that.
Of course, even if you don't want to order an Artza box for Ali Dawah, you can always order one for yourself. Trust me, you won't regret it. So, whether you're trying to cheer up Ali Dawah or you just want some hand-picked treasures from the land where Jesus walked, sign up to start receiving Artza boxes. The link is in the description. Be sure to use the promo code DIZZLE to get a discount, and to let them know who sent you. Now, back to Ali Dawah, who showed up to Speaker's Corner for a battle of wits, even though he was completely unarmed. But he did come bearing gifts, including the gift of total victory for GodLogic.
Now, since I realized no logic doesn't know his shapes.
The gifts were some shapes and a little shape sorter.
When you talk about triangles and squares, you need to have it in front of you. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. What shape is this?
Ali Dawah uses the shapes to make the same silly argument.
This is the human nature, person one. This is the human nature and the divine nature. Yeah. You cannot, when you bring them together, it's a contradiction. You cannot have a triangle square. Meaning, when you bring them together, you have how many shapes? 2.
But GodLogic uses the shape sorter to show that two shapes existing together is not a contradiction.
No.
So when you have this, watch this.
Yeah.
This, ladies and gentlemen, this is a triangle, right?
Round of applause, come on.
This, lady, hold on, let me hold it.
Oh, you hold it. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's gonna fall out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So this, ladies and gentlemen, is a square.
Okay.
Really?
Smart man.
Okay.
That's weird.
Are the squares next to each other?
Yeah.
Is this a contradiction?
Well, is it? No. A triangle square, something that's a triangle and a square at the same time, in the same sense, would be a contradiction. A triangle and a square together is not a contradiction, just as a human nature and a divine nature together is not a contradiction. Again, you can say you don't believe it's true, but it's not a contradiction. But it gets worse for Ali Dawah because GodLogic uses the shapes to further explain Christian theology.
So it's pretty clear, Ali Dawah knows that I am not saying that there are two persons.
Exactly.
We are saying that there are two what?
Natures.
Very good. Just 1 second. So natures and persons are two different categories. Do we agree?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, good. So if I say that there's two natures, I'm not saying there's two persons.
I know.
If I say there's two natures within one person, there's two different categories. Yeah?
Good. Yeah.
All right. So you said that you're talking about one nature being the same as the other. The opposite nature being the same as the other nature, right? Yes.
Them being together.
Okay. Are these together?
Not like that.
I didn't ask that.
Square.
Are these together?
No, not like that. I'm not talking about
When I bring a triangle and I bring a square and I bring it together.
How many shapes you have?
Is this is two shapes?
Good.
Is this I answered all your questions, remember? My turn.
Yes.
I bring them together. Are they together?
Yes.
Is this a contradiction?
They are two.
Ali Dawah still doesn't get it, so he argues that the triangle doesn't fit into the square because it has a different nature.
No. Put the triangle. Look. Yeah. Look. It still doesn't fit. It still doesn't fit. It still doesn't fit.
So now what?
Now, hold on a second, guys. Why is this triangle not fitting in the square?
Because it's not a square.
Because there's a different nature. Exactly.
And that was all GodLogic needed for the death blow to Ali Dawah's career.
Watch this, it's going to be super funny. Ali Dawah, what shape is this?
I hope it's funny in you lot, because
Yeah, it is. What shape is this?
Triangle. That is a square.
This is a square?
Yes.
Okay. What shape is in the square?
Triangle.
Wait. You just told me that a triangle cannot be in a square. But you just said that this is a square that has a triangle in it. Wait. I'm a little confused. So wait, I just want to know. Since this is a square, and this inside the square is a triangle, is this a contradiction?
Welcome to Dawah, ladies and gentlemen. Ali Dawah literally brought GodLogic a shape sorter shaped like a square, which also had a triangle within it, and then he argued that a triangle can't be in a square, even though he purchased, wrapped, and gifted a triangle in a square, And he still doesn't understand how insanely stupid his argument is. He doesn't understand what a contradiction is. He doesn't understand the basic philosophical terms he's using. Even after his argument has been obliterated, he keeps looking for people who are ignorant and gullible enough to fall for it. This is Dawah.
And we're proud of that.
If you'd like to see another way to explain the two natures of Christ to your Muslim friends, be sure to watch my video, If Jesus is God, How Could He Die? I make the issue so simple, even Ali Dawah can understand it.
We're proud of that. We're proud of that. We're proud of that. It just backfired on you. We're proud of that. We're proud of that. We're proud of that. It just backfired on you. This is a part of a religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah?